Annie, when it comes to corruption, I've always maintained that any move, any action towards making things right, towards fighting corruption, I fully endorse it. I come from one of the most deprived regions in this country. It's by grace and probably by decisions my parents were guided by. That is why I sit where I sit. But coming from where I come from, when you look at the numbers of people who get the opportunities some of us have gotten, any fight against corruption is non-negotiable. So anything to save this country money, anything to save this country from leaking purses must be fully endorsed, especially by those of us in the North. I was amazed when last year I had the opportunity to be at a commissioning of a project in a town that is supposed to be developed or developing as against the other towns, more like in a district capital. They're supposed to see more development.
Like a semi-urban.
Yes, more development than the other towns and villages in the same district. And open defecation.
Oh, it's not
an
Accra?
issue. No, not Accra. I don't come from Accra.
So where you went to was not in Accra?
No, it was not in Accra.
So you went to the northern areas?
Honey, by virtue of what I was doing before I got into frontline politics at the Ministry of Health, I traveled around this country a lot. Even if not for that, I come from Savannah, then northern region. Both parents come from there, but we are patrilineal, so I come from my father's side. From where we used to live in, we used to live in Mem before we went to Obuasi.
Mm-hmm. We have a few minutes to
go. If you're moving from Obuasi to the borough, and perhaps Obusu or Lampo, I'll definitely pass through Ashanti region, pass through then Brown-Ahafo, and go there. If I was going to my mother's hometown, I'll also pass through those regions and go. So even if not for the work that I did, I saw, but by virtue of what I did at Ministry of Health, I traveled around this country very well. And corruption hasn't done us any good. That's why I said any fight against it is something that everybody must support. Look, and especially in the northern and rural areas, that a lot of interventions are brought by NGOs. You can imagine the impact on the northern sector now that USAID is pulling out. All those things. So if any decision to get our money back from anybody who has taken our money must be supported, but not in what I term using corrupt ways to also get people to do these things. I'm sure we can go as far back when we want to give examples, but where do those things end? You mentioned about Professor Kunfi being arrested. You read a letter inviting Abronye. Honey, when I saw that letter, the first thing that came to mind was
there's also a declaration of assets.
The JAPA document.
No, I'm saying that there's also the declaration of assets.
Declaration of assets. And I totally agree with Gabi. The way we do it doesn't really give meaning to it. You fill a form, put it in an envelope. At least when I was submitting mine, the officer who took it looked at it and corrected so there were certain places that were not filled or corrected. But I think that's about all that anybody sees. Well, because before you present it, you don't need to seal the envelope. It's when they've checked to be sure that you are, and they are not even assessing it. They are just looking at how you filled it. Before you seal it, they take it and you leave. Maybe we should look at it. And we should also look at how we conduct ourselves in our communities. I was telling someone the other day, Christmas just passed. People took hampers from people that ideally they shouldn't be taking hampers from. Someone just gets a political appointment and they demands, people that are not even supposed to be asking them for favors are doing that.
That's
how
what's
do we
causing
fight
people
it?
to be
It's all
corrupt.
part of it. It's all part of it.
It's causing the
Ramadan is
public
coming. Ramadan is coming in a few days. People will be taking sugar and other things from people they are not supposed to be taking from. So if we don't look, we don't go beyond just going after, not going after, oh, I've always maintained the Gabi. You know that has always been my stance. If we don't go beyond just the political operating, and we maintain it, it will be a circus. NPP will come, go after NDC.
So
NDC will come,
go
after
this
NPP.
This chicken and egg situation.
You remember
what gives what? Is it the demand from the people that's making public servants corrupt,
everybody.
Or is the corruption?
It's not everybody.
Because,
like you said, it's a chicken and egg situation.
Well, I'm just trying to put it safely.
It's not everybody that can resist pressure. It's not everybody that can say that what you're asking me for, I don't have it. Right? There are people that don't believe.
So they decide to steal.
If I open my Facebook Messenger or I open my WhatsApp messages for you after every show, you'll be amazed.
No, so Lara, did you steal because they were demanding things from you?
No, what did I steal?
Did you steal?
Me. I can't steal.
So why must anybody be justified for being corrupt? So
the name I carry.
So the National Service Secretary.
The name I carry.
So the National Service Secretariat.
The name I carry will not even allow me
to
entertain such thoughts.
Authority scandal.
Annie,
there goes names.
Look.
Were the graduates forcing them to put on the list?
I wasn't at National Service Secretariat. There is an allegation that has been made by an institution. The people involved have also come with their side of the story. An investigation has to be conducted for us to go. But we also shouldn't do an go about it just because someone wants to victimize another person. They've given their side of the story. They released a statement. The former executive secretary and one of the deputies were even on a Good Evening Ghana to explain. They've been speaking, they've been granting interviews. The immediate past deputy for operations was arrested, and that's what I'm saying. Why arrest someone you want to come and help in an investigation? Did they refuse to appear? You invite them if they don't want to come and all that. But this attitude of making it seem as if you are good, all those things compromise your evidence and your process. And you don't laugh. Look, if you remember, after elections, when we met in that studio, I think Shamima was the one I was on set with. And we're talking about this. Great. You want to go after people accused or alleged to have done something untoward. Nothing stops you from that. But when will this circus start? But that is why I've always maintained.
You mean when it will end?
1992 to, let's say, 1993 to 2001, NDC was in power. 2001 to 2009, MPP was in power. They're examples, right? 2009 to 2017, NDC came back into power. The same process.
Same what?
Same going after, process of going after people. 2009 to 2016.
Which case was prosecuted?
Oh, there were a lot of people, about 48 of past appointees, President Kufuor's appointees. But none of them were found guilty anyway. Now we are in a new cycle. We've done 16 of pushing each other. Now you have a president that has been through it all. Are we going to continue with this cycle? Okay. Are we going to end it? Don't also forget that there's a lot of rage, and I feel very bad because you talk to colleagues that you know that can contribute so much to this country, but they don't want to come in because of the whole political tag that they will get, and we are losing out on it. Because it's like the moment you get into politics, you are tagged a thief.
You see,
you are stereotyped
the current majority,
you get into it, your privacy
the current majority
is gone.
Leader, Mama Yariga, had a bit of some banter, not a banter, but I think it was an address by the minority leader, and then came the majority leader. The minority leader went on a path of, suggesting that the political class must protect themselves.
Yes, because there's a lot of anger against the political class.
So
and that's not limited to only the NPP.
So this is how the majority leader came in. He said, if you create the impression that the political class is protecting themselves, we will actually stand to lose this democracy. Because the people, and you know that our voter population is becoming enlightened by the day. They will actually vote against you because they will know that you are now beginning to protect yourself.
Have you followed the voter trend?
So let's be careful the narrative we are trying to turn.
Have you followed the voter trend from 1992?
Yes.
Let's even compare 2020, where we had a seeming hung parliament. And now look at the overwhelming endorsement that was given to the government in part. That should tell you something.
Okay.
It's like we are trying. We've tried 8 years. We tried a hung parliament. Now we are trying absolute majority. But one thing, you see, when you also give the impression, and how well do you solve it?
Oh, my God.
In the past government, the Maslock head, has she been brought back? Has she been found?
No.
Is she back?
Yeah, but she's been convicted.
That is where you show that kind of commitment. The Attorney General, did I hear the Attorney General, correct me if I'm wrong, did I hear the Attorney General say that he's not touching Mr. Chachikwesin's case because the man wants to prove his innocence? What about the ones that he's filed nollie prosecutor for?
He has established...
Are they guilty?
No.
Or they are not guilty? Sometimes we need to also be careful about some of these things. Why are you letting them off?
No,
they are
but
not guilty.
You see, they are not guilty
on
those cases.
Why not? Just like
like
Mr. Jachikwesin says he wants to prove his innocence.
The Attorney General was very clear. The Attorney General was very clear when we were there.
Yes.
There were questions that were thrown by the journalists. One answer he gave, I think it was Alfred that asked that question, and he said he doesn't want it. And the question was about Gregory Afoko. And he said he didn't want to take arbitrary decisions. He wanted to look at the cases in summary and then establish reasonable basis for his subsequent decisions, which is what he did. And he actually stated the basis. In fact, I think because of time we can't put it out. But he said that he had to establish, arbitrary was not what he was doing, but to establish, go through the summary of the cases and establish a reasonable base for which you want to, quash this case or just, file for the nollie
on the back of the information you gave with respect to a majority leader saying that the impression you give, the narrative you give. That's why I'm asking this question. But the other thing too is, you mentioned the CLOSAG strike, right? What was the reason for local government workers association staying away? Because there's an issue in court since 2022. Why hasn't that been looked at?